start, you never stop. You're either dying as you're climbing, or you living at the top. And if you fall, I think it's better that you flying as you die, instead of living at the bottom, dying when you stop my drop. Most people don't rise up cause they can't take the pressure. They're more scared of the failure than they're ready for successes. And that right there is the reason people like me come in the season. They wanna keep the money on the table so they're able to know they're breaking even. But that just isn't me. I'm all in with my money on red, but I'm broke, so that's it. If I can't make this shit the best, so right now, everything I got, everything I hold, everything I write isn't just another song. This is called my life, and you better believe that that's true. There ain't another thing.
Hey, what's up, peeps? Welcome to today's episode of Grind Hard, Hustle Smart with me, Charles Johnson. Well, today I just decided I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We're just going to jump right into it today. So, one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is my past and why am I where I'm at presently? And I have to go back to an event that happened in my life. I have many of these stories, far too many to be quite honest with you, but I'll tell a few. I'll tell one here today. So I've had many near-death experiences, or let's just say I've been on the wrong side of a pistol or a gun, in that matter, a good number of times, far too many than I should have, obviously. And many of them happened before I was even, 20, before I was even 18 years old. So one story comes to mind in particular, and my family hates when I tell this story, but I often tell people that, I could have been, one of the many young black men that's been, killed unarmed by the police. And I say that for this. I grew up in a city at this point in time in my life called Fairfield, Alabama, which is a small city little south of Birmingham. And I was going home from choir practice. I didn't sing, I played the drums. And I had this leather jacket on that my brother had sent me from New York where he lived. And I had my drumsticks tucked into the inside pocket. And I'm walking down the street. It's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And 4 police vehicles surround me on the corner. And they shine, the bright spotlights on me. And they get out the car and, put your hands up, put your hands up. Put your hands where I can see them. Let me see them now. And they're very, very aggressive. And they draw their weapons on me. All 4 police officers. I can't see none of the police officers' faces because they're all behind the spotlights, but all their weapons are in my field of view. They're ahead of the spotlight, so I can see the muzzle of the weapons. And so I do what I'm told. I put my hands up. But me and my childhood folly, I so scared and so young, I reached into my jacket and I pulled out my drumsticks just to show them, like, hey, I don't have anything. I don't have any weapons. And they look at me and they keep looking. They look like surprised. And they say, oh, it's not him. It's not him. And they tell me that, I had fit the description of somebody who had just robbed a gas station. And I'm probably about 14 years old, like I said. And they don't offer me an apology. They don't offer me anything. They don't say anything further than that. And they just hop in their vehicles and they hightail it out of there. I don't get it right. They don't take my statement. They don't write down my name, nothing. They just get out of there. They holster their sidearms and they leave. And I remember telling my mom and my grandmother this story when I became older, probably in my mid-20s, I finally told them this story. And I remember they smacked me upside the head. And one of those moments, or that moment in particular, always plays in my mind many, many times. Because I have to understand in those moments that there's times like that where I realize that I'm still here for a reason. Like my life still has purpose. It still has value. I still matter in the scheme of things. Because if it hadn't, maybe that would have been it for me. Like, clearly I've been allowed to exist in this life for this time for some grand purpose. We don't want to walk through our lives as if we don't have a sense of purpose, or as if where our lives have no meaning or no value. We want to feel as if our lives mean something, that we were put here strategically for a reason. And I always go back to that moment because I realize now what I didn't know then is that maybe I was allowed to continue in this life because I needed to interact with people presently and change their outlook on life so that they won't end up in a terrible situation. That maybe the arc of my life needed to intersect with some more people, that I wasn't quite ready to leave this world yet. And I've been through, near death experiences, like I said, many, many times. And even now, I still have this like foolish, gleeful like smile when I think about these stories. If you ever had a near death experience, or you ever like been shot at, or you ever been on the wrong side of a pistol or a weapon, and you live to tell the tale, you always at the end of you have this stupid laugh, like, man, that was crazy. You always have this like, I don't know, I want to call it euphoric or gleeful or happy moment, like where you just like, it's just like joyful, like you just give this stupid laugh, like, that's crazy what we just lived through, right? And I still have those moments now, but on a far more serious note, I just realized that I matter to some extent. Like, I was allowed to continue. Out of all of those near-death situations, out of all those times I've been on the wrong side of a pistol, out of all those times where my life could have been snuffed out, I'm still here. Something was meant for me to make it to this point in time. Some higher being or God, the universe, whatever you believe in, meant for me to exist in this moment. That I still have a part to play. That my life still matters. It still has meaning. And I want to extend that to you all. That I'm allowed to speak to you all now, and you're allowed to hear this message, this story, because clearly you were still meant for something bigger than yourself. You matter. I remember I was talking to this youth scholar organization in Hawaii before I got off of active duty, before I left Hawaii. And I was pointing at the audience, the young kids in the audience, like, you matter, you matter, you matter, you matter, you matter. Like, you matter, just pointing them, like as if a crazy uncle or a father would point at a kid in their chest, like, don't let anybody tell you what you can't do, that your life is meaningless. You matter. And I remember this young Asian girl walked up to me. She had tears in her eyes. She said, Charles, thank you for telling me that, because nobody's ever told me that before. So let me be the first to tell you all this. If you've never heard it before, you matter. Times may seem dark right now, and they may seem bleak. There may be no good outlook on the horizon, but let me tell you, you matter. Your life has purpose. It has value. You exist for a reason. Don't let anybody talk you out of your inheritance. Don't let the enemy persuade you to give up the path that you were called to walk on. You matter, ladies and gentlemen. Can't put it any more simple than that. You matter. And we need to start walking in our inheritance, walking in our value, walking as if we have a purpose and a reason for being, and as if we were strategically put on this planet for a reason, because we were. Far too many of us walk around aimlessly in the world without any hope, without any sense of value or sense of self at all. When I tell people, hey, man, you're a king or you're a queen, I absolutely 1,000% mean it, because you are. Because I want you to think of yourself as such. Because kings and queens don't mope around. They walk around as if they own the world, as if they own the room, as if they own their purpose, as if they own their value, and they don't let anybody belittle them. They don't let anybody talk them out of their inheritance. They walk around with a sense of self, a sense of purpose, a sense of identity. You matter. Some of us just walk around and people don't know if we're coming or going. easiest test to that is, would anybody care if you died right now? Like if you passed away right now in this moment, how many people would be at your funeral? The easiest way to tell where you are right now in life is write your obituary today and see what it says. And I 1000% mean that. Write your obituary today. And if you can't write a whole lot of things about yourself or the lives that you impacted, or how many people attended, or how many people would attend, like serious attendees, not people that would just RSVP and not show up, or just show up to sign the guest book. No, people who would legitimately care and mourn because you've passed on from this life to the next. How many of those people exist in your life? I've read tons of obituaries throughout my life, and many of them always touch me like, wow, this person left an impact on the world. They knew that they mattered, and they lived their life as if it did. Because there's people that will remember them forever, not because of their grandiose ideal of this person, or because of the money that they earned throughout their life, but because of the genuine, authentic impact they made on their lives. I would not be where I am today because of this person. How many of your obituaries can say that, or will say that? I'm talking about your legacy. Will your legacy, when it is written, say that this person knew that they mattered, that they had purpose, that they were strategically put on this planet for a reason, that they lived their life to be a change catalyst, to affect change in other people's lives, to make an impact in other people's lives in such a way so that person can say one day, hey, thank you, because I walked around this world as if nothing was important to me. But when you spoke life into a place where I thought had died, when you spoke success into a place where I thought had been succumbed to failure, when you gave me the impetus, the fire, the motivation, the willpower to keep going when I thought about doing some pretty terrible things to myself, I just want to say thank you. Because it was in that moment where you helped me understand, the light bulb relit, the fire relit, to say, hey, I matter. Maybe I need to start walking around as such. Because people are watching you. People are counting on you. You may not know it now, but people are counting on you. There's children that have yet to be born that will remember your name. There's a legacy that you're writing right now. Each and every single moment of the day, the story that is to be written will affect the lives of those to come after you. You matter. That's what I learned from that one event in my life. Because I think to myself, had I not been called to speak on this podcast, to speak to audiences when I'm not doing podcasting, where I'm not in class, or when I'm not, writing down ideas, or writing down, things in my book, or just grinding it out each and every single day, just trying to get to that place where I want to be. Had I not been called to do these things, where would I be? How many of those near-death experiences would death have been the ultimate, result, the final outcome? How many chances did the world have to take me, and I'm still standing? I think about those things. I think about them each and every single day, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I still have purpose. I still have value. I still have meaning. I still matter. And you still matter. Each and every single each and every single day we draw breath. We need to understand that we still matter. We matter. There is not a day where we wake up, we have an opportunity to try again, or we have an opportunity to reconcile a relationship, or we have an opportunity to love, or we have an opportunity to try a new opportunity, a new avenue of approach, take the risk of doing something that will make us stretch and grow our minds and our hearts and our confidence in ourselves and those around us. Each and every single time we have one of those moments, we need to recognize that we matter. We matter. Just think about the people that you interact with throughout the day. I can't tell you the amount of stories that I've heard where people say, had this person not said hello to me or asked me about my day and genuinely showed concern and interest, I was going to do tonight. I didn't see no other reason, but this person pulled me away from it. That person helped me back off the ledge. This is what you need to think about often. We think that our lives are just days around the sun, just revolutions, just going around and around and around, and we all know that we only have so many trips around the sun before it all ends. But how many of us know that each time we go around, we need to be interacting with somebody, because every opportunity that we have to go around the sun and come back again is an opportunity to matter in somebody else's trip around the sun. You matter each and every single day, and you need to understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, you all are awesome, amazing, wonderful human beings. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You matter. If I can't get you to understand anything else, you matter in the scheme of things. The world is not too big for you. You have a place in this world. You have a place in this society. You have a place in my life, and you have a place in the lives of those people who you interact with on a daily basis. Don't ever forget it. You may be the person that helps me with my breakthrough. You may be the person, if you got people sitting to your left and your right, your front and your rear, you might be the catalyst, the one thing that helps that person get their breakthrough. And if you just simply matter to them, they matter to you, and they might, in effect, reciprocate it and help you get your breakthrough if you hadn't gotten it already. We matter, not only to the world, but to each other, more importantly. So, never forget it. But thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. You can find this podcast on all major podcasting platforms. The podcast is also now available on YouTube Music under podcasts. It's another avenue that you can listen to this podcast clearly as well. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Amazon, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on all major podcasting platforms. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me on thecharlesjohnson.com. You can also purchase the merchandise at thegrindishard.com. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, grind hard, hustle smart each and every single day so that you can be everywhere and every way one day. Have a good one.
Destined for greatness, my name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, this ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, yeah. Walking through the shadows, I see the hangman as he stands at the gallows. The breath of the beast like the sun. I'll get it done. One day I'll look back and see that we won. I hear victory song. This is my victory song. Rise up.